हस्बैंड के साथ मेरे रिलेशनशिप्स बहुत इम्प्रूव हुए।
This is something 110% possible. And you imagine yourself as you want to be. जो लोग करना चाहते हैं, they don't buy into their excuses. They look for ways and do things. Neuro-linguistic programming brain through language.
डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग आती है अपने मुतालिक, अपनी जात के मुतालिक और दूसरों के मुतालिक.
This is one of the first things in my courses. ये जो चीज
I have used one of your techniques in my sales and it closed.
अब लगता है कि जो मेरा एक स्किल लेवल है शायद मुझे वो पहले महसूस नहीं हो रहा था.
क्योंकि I feel like I need it. Because I can.
Look, I am way better than I thought I would be, you know.
If you're getting training in Pakistan, I want to recommend that you train with Kamran.
Kamran Sultan. He is fantastic, and I highly recommend him.
Highly recommend. If you want to learn NLP, learn from the best in Pakistan. Learn from Kamran.
I transformed as a human being, as a mother. मेरी पेरेंटिंग बहुत इम्प्रूव हुई विद माई डॉटर्स. माई रिलेशनशिप इम्प्रूव्ड. इसके अलावा मेरे हस्बैंड के साथ मेरे रिलेशनशिप्स बहुत इम्प्रूव हुए.
यहाँ से अपनी लाइफ को पीछे की तरफ देखता हूँ, 5 साल पीछे की, और आज जब मैं अपने आप को देख रहा हूँ तो एक डिफरेंट इंसान की सूरत में अपने आप को देख रहा हूँ.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you can see me and you can hear me. Welcome to another episode and be my guest. आज हमारी जो guest हैं, this is Fiza Fahd. Fiza is one of the corporate trainers and Fiza साथ she also is an NLP practitioner. She works as a coach. And Fiza क्या कुछ करते हैं हम Fiza से ही पूछेंगे and Fiza ही हमें बताएंगी. And so welcome Fiza.
Thank you so much, and Assalamu alaikum, sir, and everyone else.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullah. So Fiza, thoda sa, let us know your background. I know you for almost a year, but so please do let us know.
All right. So I have been associated with training and development professionally for over 8 years. साथ मुझे resource development, human psychology, ये चीजों में research करने का, पढ़ने का, human behavior कैसे होते हैं, communication में क्या हम aspects हैं, and how people are communicating, all of those things really interested me. So that led me to researching about lots of things within this direction, and eventually I ended up towards NLP.
Excellent. And I hope this has been a good decision for you.
It has been a transformational decision for my life. I can just go on and on if I'm sure there's limited time, but it's completely changed my life for the better, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So Fiza, हमारी session से पहले जो बात हो रही थी, you mentioned few things and there's some interesting things I think that's useful for everyone. It's like you mentioned that you used to have this issue of getting overwhelmed with things before you took your NLP training, and alhamdulillah you've been able to help yourself with this. So can you share some of your experiences for our viewers so like other people can also apply some of the things that you have learned?
Of course. Overwhelmed, overthinking, would happen when I would start thinking about a situation कि मुझे ये काम करना है, or depending on the calm nature of the work that I had to do, I would either think too much and not do it, or think a lot, get into the fear of failure and do it even better. So it was helping me and it was hindering me. Okay. When it was helping me, I would see how people raved about my work afterwards. So I said, okay, something good is happening. But when it was hindering me, that was more on a personal level, which when I wanted to pursue a hobby, which was different. And I would think over it again and again and again to the point that I wouldn't do it. And then I would see someone else doing it and I would feel bad about myself. So I realized that I can do the thing, mostly results अच्छे होते हैं. So this process of thinking negatively is the part where the problem lies. And that led me to do some research into how do I overcome this, because it wasn't really stopping me completely. अच्छा भी effect हो रहा था और बुरा भी. But issue तो था, because I would be shaking with fear if I'm trying out something new. So yeah, here I am.
So, what you're saying is there was some benefit, जैसे हम NLP में कहते हैं the secondary gain. It's like हम एक बात करते हैं that कोई भी behavior हम अगर maintain रखते हैं, that's because at some level हमें कोई ना कोई उससे benefit हासिल हो रहा होता है. There is something we gain out of it. As you just mentioned, there were some benefits. Okay, but like what exactly did you do, or any person can do, you think, ये overthinking का, because ये overthinking का issue बहुत common है. आपने भी coaching sessions आप लोगों के साथ करती हैं, you may have experienced this, like people have this कि जी मैं कोई काम शुरू करता हूँ and then I start thinking about it. And मैं इस तरह से लोगों को कहता हूँ हमारे साथ प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है कि हम सोचते हैं, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम जो सोचते हैं हम उस सोच को हकीकत समझने लगते हैं, and then we get into trouble. वो क्या कहेगा, इसने किया, जो फलाने ने किया, एंड देन इट्स लाइक हमारी पास्ट की सोच हो या हमारे मुस्तकबिल की सोच है, यानी हमारा फियर जो है समथिंग रिलेटेड टू पास्ट, और एंजाइटी अबाउट समथिंग दैट मे हैपन. Okay, or that's one of the ways in which people get into overthinking. So what would you suggest, as agar step by step agar koi ho, ya any technique or anything that you can suggest?
The main change that I've realized, जो coaching हासिल करके मुझे feel हुआ अपने अंदर, वो ये है कि ये negative thoughts आते हैं, they won't stop. My mind will tell me that this is something so big, you can't do it. Or लोग क्या कहेंगे? The fear of failure or the fear of making mistakes that has been ingrained. शुरू से बचपन से होते कि गलती हो जाएगी या खुदा ना खास्ता फेल हो जाओगी, हम लोग को डराया जाता है बचपन से.
Judgment चलता रहता है.
Exactly. And that still comes, but there's a switch which goes on and it says, this is just a thought. Just be mindful, let it pass, it will pass. Is this really real? Like, look at what's happening. This is in your head, get out of your head, look at the situation. See what's happening, mindful है थोड़ा सा. तो ये वाली सारी चीजें आपको सीखने से आएंगी. It just doesn't come automatically.
Yeah. So, Fiza, आप जो बात कर रहे हो, that's something very interesting. This is what I tell people. This is why probably I'm finding it more interesting. When you tell yourself this is just a thought, what you're doing is you're thinking about the way that you're thinking or what you are thinking. And मेरा अपना experience ये रहा है, and this is my way of saying it, कि हमारी जो thoughts होती हैं, when you start paying attention to them, they start shying away. It's like when you ignore them, you dislike them, they want to persist. Okay, they don't want to go because you say nahi, aisa nahi, and they stay. But once you start paying attention, they start shying away. So great, thank you. So Fiza, as a coach, you work with people. So what have your experience been as a coach?
Yeah, so far I've had quite a few clients belonging to different backgrounds. And if I look at it generally also, it's been very eye-opening. It's been a learning experience for me. Why I would say that after every coaching experience, a coaching session, I need some time to sort of, regain myself, my composure. I do write down some reflections, and I realize that if I help this person a little bit, he or she taught me a lot more about myself. For example, there was one client who wouldn't open up. She had a goal. She sounded very ambitious. She knows the right things to do, the right things to say. Seemingly, she didn't have any issues. She was still getting stuck. Now, I couldn't figure out, मैं क्या ऐसा करूं? I was looking for common grounds with her. I told her, this is what I do, and this is how I do it. This is what my life is about. And, we have a similar, and she still wouldn't open up. So I had to come down to a level of vulnerability. And I had to share some things about my personal life, which she could relate to. That made her open up. Now, what I learned from this instance was that vulnerability is not a weakness. So that's how I used to view it as कि अगर मैं चार लोगों के सामने खड़े होकर बात कर रही हूँ तो मैंने अपने आप को छुपाने में कोई पर्सनल बात नहीं कर सकती, because then I would be too vulnerable. But here I could connect with a person who would open up and talk to me about whatever was that was actually bothering her, just because of something that I used to perceive as a weakness, but it became my strength. So, yes.
And, this is so true कि आपका हर client, हर आने वाला शख्स आपको कुछ ना कुछ सिखा के जा रहा होता है। एंड ऑफन मेरा अपना एक्सपीरियंस ये रहा है कि बहुत सारे हमारे पास आने वाले जो लोग होते हैं वो हमारा अपना लिटरली मिरर इमेज होते हैं टाइम्स, लाइक जो वो इश्यूज बता रहे होते हैं, कभी पता है ये इशू तो मेरे साथ भी है, it's like I've also had this, or I am experiencing this issue, but I don't think of it that way. कोई हमारा अपना एस्पेक्ट जो है वो हमें सामने आता है, इस तरह से हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग और ग्रोथ. सो you also mentioned, I remember, कि कुछ लोग even though they need coaching, but they don't go for. Is it because of vulnerability? What's your experience about that? Like, why don't people go for coaching? Like, what's the problem?
I think here in our culture, they don't understand coaching. When I tell somebody that I am a coach, and I do give coaching sessions, the first thing they ask me if it's related to which subject. So is it a tuition service that I'm providing? And then I explain it to them. And then they're like, okay, aisa bhi hota hai. So awareness is needed, which is going to solve a lot of those instances where they think that they don't need coaching.
So awareness, what do you think, how can we spread awareness? Like, what can we do as coaches to help people become more aware? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, that's something we could, talk about it through our social media platforms. We could educate the people who are near us, discuss it with them as if it's a normal thing that people do indulge into. Talk about how successful people, especially if we talk about Oprah Winfrey or Steve Jobs, who've had, coaches for most of their lives, to help them achieve goals that they wanted to. So I feel that the people who are here around us, they do have goals, सबके dreams हैं, सबको कुछ ना कुछ करना है, लेकिन कैसे करना है वो नहीं पता, और उसके लिए उनको coaching की जरूरत है, और वो भी उनको नहीं पता. So we can talk about it as much as we can, be it our social media, be it in our circles, word of mouth.
Yeah, it's like, you're absolutely right. I've been in this business for 27 years. The thing is, it's like if people don't know. And one way that we can do is we can like talk about it. And another way is we can give them some experience on coaching.
Of course.
Okay, so when they have that experience, they understand. Okay, I remember I learned this from one of my trainers. It's just like changing the whole world, one person at a time. Okay, it's not about like changing the whole world, all the world at the same time. It's like working with one person and then helping one person at a time. So Fiza, you also mentioned certain things about like seeing things from different perspectives, like from multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Can you share some of those things? Like,
yes.
What does that mean and how does that work for you?
This is something that I learned through NLP only. Earlier, I would see a particular situation and I see a person reacting in a particular way, socially unacceptable way. And I would judge to conclusion, like most people do. I would find flaws and I would be like, this is not on and all of that. Now, instead of finding flaws, I observe the situation. For example, I've gone to a conference and I'm looking at a trainer, and instead of finding the faults or the flaws that the way that person is conducting the training session, I would learn and observe how this person is handling certain situation. Maybe there's a situation happening which makes this person act in a particular way. So the context of the situation matters a lot. As a parent, when my child comes from school, एक हमारा rule है कि it's a non-negotiable rule that my child has to go and wash up. Now there are days when she doesn't want to, and sometimes I used to push her, and she still wouldn't. And 1 घंटा उसमें हमारी लड़ाई झगड़े में गुजरता था. Now I just sit with her and I talk to her instead of pushing her that what happened at school, how are you feeling, and all of that. And उसमें मुझे कहीं ना कहीं से वो मिल जाते हैं कि what is she going through, which is making her act in this particular manner. And so I do understand where she's coming from, and then I handle her in that manner only, and obviously it works out. And she goes, washes up, and then we have her food. So just assessing where a person is coming from or approaching that particular situation has been significantly beneficial, because it's helped me decide accordingly. And the quality of decision making improves that way, be it a work situation, be it a personal situation, or any social situation that you're operating in at that time.
So, फिजा, अगर हम बिल्कुल layman terms में बात करें, like seeing things from different perspectives, how would you, it's like if a mother is watching this, because you have said something very interesting, it's like there may be many mothers who have the same kind of issues, like especially mothers of teenagers, okay, and fathers of teenagers too. Because उस एज में बच्चा जो होता है उसको होता है जी मैं वो एक हाई फ्यूल के ऊपर चल रहा होता है, ओके, और उसको लग रहा होता है बस मैंने सारी दुनिया फतह कर ली, अब माँ को क्या पता, अब्बा को क्या पता. और उसमें मैंने देखा बहुत पेरेंट्स में ये इश्यूज आते हैं, पेरेंट्स और बच्चों के जो इश्यूज होते हैं, बहुत कॉमन चीज है. सो as a coach, as a mother, what is your advice? How can a mother, see things from a child's perspective? Is there anything any tip that you can give them?
I think talk to your child, communicate, trust your child, come to their level, find common things with your child. जब तक आप अपने बच्चे के साथ common grounds, किसी के भी साथ भी common ground पे नहीं आएंगे, they won't open up and talk to you. So as a parent, I try my level best that my kid comes and tells me each and everything. And I don't have to ask much. They want to tell themselves because they feel safe doing that. Reacting to your child for something that they want to tell you and confide in you about is a no-no. I mean, emotions hote hain, we're all humans, we're mothers, we freak out. But for that time being, just listen, just be a good listener. And then, later on, find another way to communicate, जैसे कि बच्चा आपके उस तरीके से बात सुन ले, समझ जाए, और मसला भी solve हो जाए.
That's a very good advice. It's like एक चीज exactly यही होती है, that people start judging. Okay, और वो जो judgments भी अक्सर होते हैं, वो जो हमारी social norms दिए हुए हैं ना, हमने जो सोशल नॉर्म्स एक्सेप्ट किए हुए हैं, तो फिर हम उसके ऊपर अपने रिश्तों को जज कर रहे होते हैं, अपने सगों को जज कर रहे होते हैं. And everyone, I want you to understand this. It's not something that I have not done. अगर मैं आपको कोई चीज़ें, this is a mistake that I have also done. This is why I understand it deeply. Okay, and because हमने अपनी बहुत सारी गलतियां की होती हैं, उससे हम सीखते हैं बहुत सारी चीजें, उससे हमें समझ में आते हैं. So एक जो फिजा ने अभी बात कही है, उससे अपने बच्चों को judge karna, and that's also the key in coaching. Isn't that true, Fiza? So it's like when you work with people, a client may come to you and they may have a totally different belief system. They may have totally different values. They may have ideas which are totally contrary to what you believe or what you think is right. And still, when you work with them, if you start judging them, then you will not be able to coach them.
Very true.
Okay, और यही same mindset, देखो फिजा जो बात करी, she's be beautifully integrating her coaching skills in her parenting. So it's like, as a parent, you can coach your child, and then that same skill you can use, like Fiza is using, helping other people. So Fiza, coaching में, what have been your experience like as a coach? आप किस तरह के लोग generally आपके पास आते हैं? किस तरह के generally issues हैं या challenges हैं with which you work and you help people?
I'm open to 18 plus till 50 years of age group, both genders. Particularly मेरे पास अभी तक जो मेरा experience रहा है वो people in jobs who are struggling, or people have their businesses and they're struggling to grow further, or women who have who are feeling lost. They've been great at work, but currently not in a job and they don't know how to go back to work. So it's all very career related or business related. You could also say life general. So all sorts of people within this age group have come to me so far.
Yeah. So when you work with people, and when they approach you, where do you start? Like, what, or so first karo, there is someone who has some kind of psychological problem, and do you help them? Can you help them, or would you not work with? And I'm talking about psychological, like clinical depression or schizophrenia, or specific patients hote hain. Because
so there's this divide between therapy or psychological help and coaching. What coaching is, if you're stuck trying to achieve a goal, you need coaching. If there's a life situation or a transition that you're going through, you would need coaching. For example, आप किसी नई country में move हुए हैं, जो काफी लोग हो रहे हैं, and they feel stuck, they don't know how to navigate. Coaching is very helpful in certain situations that way. But if you've had past past traumas, therapy would be more suitable. If you have a mental health issue, then a psychologist or a psychiatrist would be more helpful in those situations. So coaching में कुछ लोग, मुझे एक दो clients के साथ मेरा इस तरह का experience हुआ है जिसमें I had to excuse myself and refer them to somebody else because they needed mental help instead of coaching.
That's something that people, हमारे माशरे में, this has been my experience as well, that most people don't understand. They think that going to a coach is like going to a psychotherapist, psychologist. Okay, so coaching and therapy are two different things, as Fiza has just said. Okay, we do not work with psychological problems. Okay, मेरे पास आने वाले लोगों को मैं ये बात कहता हूँ, I'm not qualified to work with this. Okay, I'm not qualified, and that's a fact. So that's exactly what Fiza is saying. And I want you to understand, everyone who's watching this, that we are not psychologists, we are not psychotherapists, we don't work with psychological issues. लेकिन अगर आपकी किसी भी किस्म की, there's some skill you want to improve, Fiza can help you with that. If there is some performance issue that you want to work, then Fiza can help you with that. I can help you with that. And a good coaches can help you with that. So Fiza, there's a question YouTube पे किसी ने पूछा है. This is Noreen Khan is asking you, can we do coaching of university students who are struggling with in studies?
Of course, it depends. Like if the reason they're struggling is not related to mental health, then of course, coaching can help them find a way of how to deal with certain student life situations in a more appropriate way.
So, agar first karo, it's like somebody's needs coaching and they want to approach you.
Okay.
It's like, how can they get to you?
They can contact me on my number. I will share it with you later on. My email address is available. So that could be a way to find access to me. And they can book a session and then we can carry on from it.
So what I'll do is description में इस वीडियो की description में YouTube पे मैं फिजा का जो भी contact details होंगी I'll share that. So anyone who's interested wants some help from Fiza can talk to her, ask her, and she will be available. And so you can talk to Fiza. So Fiza, do you have any like LinkedIn profile or Facebook profile where people can reach you? Or would you like to share any of that?
I do have a Facebook profile where they can message me in my inbox and I can get in touch with them. So it's Fiza Fahd. I can also share that with you.
Okay. So I'll put that for everyone in the link.
Sure.
And then you can always contact Fiza. Fiza, you have been in corporate training for 8 years now, mashallah?
Yes, 8+, yeah.
Okay. So do you also provide some trainings? अगर first करो कोई training के context में आपको approach करना चाहे, so are you available for that as well, or do you do it only in the organizations?
I haven't done it externally as a freelancer, but I'm definitely open to it.
And what kind of coaching programs do you, or training programs do you conduct?
Right now, it's more to do with systems and work related, but soft skills, problem solving, communication are some areas which I can conduct trainings in.
So Fiza, can you, or do you do trainings on designing systems and like business systems, जो organizations के लिए, do you do trainings on that, or systems thinking or something of that sort?
Not particularly for organizations, no.
For businesses, so for small businesses, if somebody wants to approach you, and
yes, that could be
some
done,
training.
definitely. Yes,
that would be really nice. हमारे यहाँ मेरा अपना जो experience है, ये जो चीज बहुत lag करती है businesses में, there is no system operating. मुझे याद है मेरा एक दोस्त, हमने जब MBA किया था, मेरा एक दोस्त जो है वो एक पाकिस्तानी जो सेटोक्रेटिक हमारे यहाँ बिजनेसेस हैं बहुत सारे, उनमें से किसी पे जॉब करता था. तो उसका लिटरली he used to get so frustrated because he said कि यार एक दिन आता है सेठ का बेटा, वो कहता है जी हमने फलाने प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करना है, उसके लिए we start doing all of our research and all the work, and अभी एक हफ्ता नहीं गुजरता है, वो आते हैं, वो कहते हैं भाई नहीं, वो नहीं, अब ये करेंगे. And it's like, what are you doing? There is no idea. It's just सुबह उठे, रात को ख्वाब में उन्होंने कुछ देख लिया तो उन्होंने कहा चलो आज ये करें, सुबह उठ के उन्होंने कुछ और ख्याल आया, and instead, so there is no specific system.
right.
It's बस वो चल रहा है, कारोबार जिंदगी तो उसी के हिसाब से वो चल रहा है. So I think this is something, if you can help people design systems within their businesses, at least help them learn to design themselves. That could be such a powerful thing. This is an age, Fiza, you have over me. I don't teach those things.
No.
Okay. So that's a wonderful thing. So anyone, I strongly recommend, if you want to, it's like, do contact Fiza and talk about that. Okay. So what else, Fiza? What else can you help people with?
I can help them feel unstuck, their way of thinking, the constant negative chatter that is there, how to quiet it down, how to make yourself feel that, I deserve that, I deserve this opportunity, or my goal is worth it. I don't have to sort of follow what everyone's doing. I can make my own pathway. So those are the things that I feel the current generation lacks support in, these aspects. And, I've met so many clients till now, and Mashallah, all of them are so full of positive energy. They want to do things. They want to stay in Pakistan and do things. Not everyone wants to go abroad also. There is a conception that everyone wants to go. That usually happens when things are going bad. तो एक panic समझ जाते हैं और सब कहते हैं जाने जाने जाने. But if you look deeper, behind that panic, nobody wants to leave their homes. They want to work over here and they want to know that there is a possibility that they can make it work over here. So I can help them figure out that possibility.
You know, फिजा, आपकी बात से मुझे ख्याल आ रहा है, हमारा जो प्रोफेशन है, जहां प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, वहां पे there's a lot more opportunity as well. You know, just think about this. If there's कोई ऐसा गांव है, कोई ऐसा शहर है, कोई ऐसा इलाका है, जहां पे there is no one who gets sick. Everybody is in perfect health. वहां पे अस्पताल का बिजनेस या किसी डॉक्टर का क्लिनिक चलेगा? वहां पे किसी फार्मास्यूटिकल की कोई फार्मेसी की दुकान चलेगी? लेकिन जहां पर लोग बीमार होते हैं, तो वहां पर अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है नई रिसर्च की, नए मेडिसिन की. देखो, जब कोविड आया तो कोविड की वजह से उसके वॉट एवर रीजंस उसके थे, बट कोविड की वजह से दुनिया में कितनी सारी रिसर्चेस होने शुरू हो गई कोविड के बारे में, कोविड को जानने में, कोविड को समझने में, और उसमें कितनी लोगों ने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स किए हैं और किस किस तरह से इट्स लाइक, ठीक है, आई अंडरस्टैंड बहुत सारी कॉन्स्पिरेसी थियरीज हैं उसमें चल रही हैं, वो दैट्स बिसाइड्स द पॉइंट. बट जस्ट इफ यू टेक दैट एज एन एग्जांपल कि कोई भी जब प्रॉब्लम आता है, वहां पे साथ में अपॉर्चुनिटीज आती हैं. With every problem there is a seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. There is some opportunity with this. So what you have just mentioned about those people, वो लोग who realize कि हाँ, यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम है, बट यहाँ पर रहते हुए हमें इसको सॉल्व करने की जरूरत है. Okay, that's very important because आपने जब बोला तो मेरे जहन में, you remember हमने practitioner training में we spoke about these like brain के different parts, and we have this the reptilian brain where we have this fight and flight thing. So a lot of times people get into this thing when they have this problem, this बस मैं निकल लूं यहाँ से, भाग लूं यहाँ से. तो we are operating at that जो हमारा lowest reptilian जो brain है, हम उसको utilize कर रहे होते हैं. But when you start engaging your intellect, the possibilities, and creatively you start looking for opportunities and for solutions. That's when you grow and that's when you develop. And I'm really happy because मैं पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त नहीं हूँ, तो मुझे नहीं पता exactly वहाँ पे ground realities क्या है. मेरे पास तो जो भी information है मैं social media से ही पता चल रही होती है. But आपकी बात से I really felt good about that कि अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त लोग जो हैं, they are still thinking कि यहाँ पर रहते हुए कुछ किया जाए. Excellent. So Fiza, any advice that you can give for mothers especially, and for parents, as a coach, that you think कि आपके पास जो आने वाले, as you said कि 18 साल के 20 साल के भी बच्चे आते हैं, तो आप, I'm sure you may have noticed some patterns, कुछ parents की गलतियां होती हैं जिसके नतीजे में बच्चे वहां तक पहुंचे होते हैं. So is there anything that you can tell parents so they may not do? I understand you did speak about not judging. In addition to that, is there anything else that you can tell them that can help their children when they grow up?
Yeah. Just to begin with, there could be so many things that I could say, but something that I feel कि हमारी society में ingrained है. अब वो क्यों है, I don't know, लेकिन वो है. और वो है fear factor की basis पे motivate करना. कि अगर तुम ये नहीं करोगे तो ये हो जाएगा. रात को सो जाओ जल्दी से वरना जिन बाबा आ जाएगा. और things like that. अगर तुम पढ़ोगे नहीं अच्छा तो तुम पैसे नहीं कमा सकते. हालांकि आप with a job you can only do so much. I mean, if you come to think of it, there's so many people who didn't go to colleges and they made so much money. So we need to sort of question the societal norms as parents also. Okay, are they working for their kids or no? And what others think or what others say will only last till that meeting, let's say. अगर मैं एक शादी में गई और मेरे बच्चे के एग्जाम में अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं है और सबको पता है, तो वो एक शादी वाला ही दिन होगा जिस दिन लोग आके शायद पूछेंगे, which is अब I don't think इतना लोगों को even रिश्तेदारों में इतना पता होता है, but it's okay. I mean, if my child is not doing good in literature, but she's doing amazing in, let's say, piano classes or a sports activity, then I would focus on that more. And for literature, I'll say, okay, let's try to at least clear it. So focus on your kids' strengths, on your child's strengths. Talk to them on daily basis. Have, connect. जिस दिन आपका connection आपके बच्चे से lose होता है, उस दिन से मसले start होते हैं.
So true. Absolutely. It's like everything, जो फिजा ने बात की है, it's like everything begins with this connection. That's one of the first skills when you learn NLP, when you learn coaching. That's one of the first skills you learn, to connect with people. Because unless you have that, no relationships work. हमारे सारे relationships की जो foundation है, वो इस connection के ऊपर होती है. Thus, building that connection with your children is very, very important. And so, Fiza, there are few questions YouTube pe. So let me just ask. Ghulam Murtaza has asked a question: how someone can survive this typical SETA culture working environment? So, would you like to say anything about this, Fiza? Setocratic culture को कैसे survive किया जा सकता है?
Luckily, I haven't been in the Setocratic culture, but I can understand because आप किसी भी MNC में जाएं, mindset वही सेठ वाला है, ठीक है? So for that, you need to understand what are your boundaries. आपकी क्या limits हैं? आप किस हद तक अपने boss को push करना चाहेंगे या अपने work life balance को maintain रखना चाहेंगे? So it's very important to know your priorities. And that way you will know कि मैं इस हद तक झुक सकता हूँ अपने बॉस के आगे, यहाँ पे I am going to stand up and say no, I cannot do this. अगर आपका काम अच्छा है तो आपकी नखरे भी बर्दाश्त होते हैं. In plain words, it's as simple as that. Nobody wants to lose a good resource.
Yes. It's like, I think I did a video मेरे YouTube channel के ऊपर है, और what Fiza is saying is चीज को support करने के लिए मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. It's simply, how do you make sure that you have a secure job? You become so good in your work कि आपका जो employer है, आपका जो boss है, वो मजबूर हो जाए आपको रखने पर. और जहां तक इस सेटोक्रेटिक कल्चर में सरवाइव करने वाली बात है, एक चीज ये कि किसी भी एनवायरनमेंट में सरवाइव करने के लिए यू ऑलवेज वर्क ऑन योर सेल्फ. ओके, सो अ कॉमन मिस्टेक दैट पीपल डू इज, जब इस किस्म की किसी सिचुएशन में आते हैं, वी स्टार्ट प्लेइंग द ब्लेम गेम एंड लाइक उसका गलती है, मेरे बॉस ऐसा है, मेरा सेठ ऐसा है, मेरा सेठ का बेटा ऐसा है, मेरे एनवायरनमेंट यहाँ का ऐसा है. एंड बाय डूइंग दैट नथिंग गेट्स रिजॉल्व्ड. और अभी फिजा ने एक बात और जो कही थी पेरेंट्स के हवाले से, व्हेन शी वाज सेइंग कि अपने बच्चों की स्ट्रेंथ्स को देखें, बिकॉज जब आप किसी स्ट्रेंथ को देखते हैं, व्हाट यू फोकस ऑन विल एक्सपैंड. इसी तरह अगर आप अपनी कल्चर में, अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जो प्रॉब्लम्स है आप उनको देखेंगे, सो वो प्रॉब्लम्स एक्सपैंड करेंगे. Focus on yourself and notice what you can do, where you can get stronger, where you can improve yourself, so things get better for you. Things don't change, we do. Environment doesn't change, we do. When we change, things change. So work on yourself. That would be my 2 cents advice on this. So there are few more questions, Fiza. So Noreen has asked, how many sessions a person requires in average And more importantly, is there any fees? I'll tell you, yes, there is a fees. Okay. Okay. We are not running NGOs. I am running professional institute. That's a business, and Fiza is a professional coach. And yes, there is a fees, okay, for everything that we do. So, but how many sessions? Fiza, would you like to add to something to
Sure.
this?
Of course. Sessions depend on each person. So it's relative. Agar aapke bachche ko ya aapko, actually I deal with 18-year-olds and plus. So agar ज़रूरत है ज़्यादा sessions की, तो फिर obviously it will depend on कि कब तक problem solving हो जाए, कब तक आप मेरे साथ as a coach you would like to work with me. Well, there are people who work with coaches and same coach for quite a few years. There are people who are done in 2 to 3 sessions. So it depends totally on you.
Yeah, and number of sessions पे एक चीज और मैं यहाँ पे आप लोगों को बताऊं, देखो जो चेंज होता है, जो भी चेंज का जो प्रोसेस, 2 तरह के चेंजेस होते हैं. एक होता है जिसे हम कहते हैं रेमेडियल चेंज. ओके, रेमेडियल चेंज. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, somebody has let's suppose somebody has fear of public speaking or a phobia of something. So we do a session, 1 session, maybe 2 sessions, and that fear goes away. Now that's a remedial change. But let's say somebody wants to become a good public speaker. Somebody wants to become a trainer. आप ट्रेनर बनना चाहते हैं और आपको पब्लिक स्पीकिंग का खौफ है, तो पब्लिक स्पीकिंग का खौफ तो मैं आपका एक सेशन में खत्म करा सकता हूं. लेकिन आपको पब्लिक ट्रेनर बनना चाहते हैं, तो ट्रेनर बनने की जो स्किल्स हैं वो मैं आपको एक सेशन में नहीं सिखा सकता. उन स्किल्स को सीखने के लिए आपको टाइम चाहिए होगा. उन स्किल्स को प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए आपको टाइम चाहिए होगा. उसके लिए आपको मल्टीपल सेशंस चाहिए होंगे. उन स्किल्स को आप स्टेप बाय स्टेप सीखेंगे. सो जो फिजा यहाँ बात कर रही है कि लाइक depending on person to person, to what it really depends on a lot is what your objective for hiring or working with a coach is. So if you're working with a coach with this idea of overcoming a certain, say, emotional issue, koi negative emotion and you want to overcome, that may happen in a session or 2 sessions, maybe 3 sessions. But you want to improve your business, you want to develop your business, you want to work on your career goals, that is something that will require more sessions. And that again depends कि आपका कितने बड़े आपके goals हैं, कितने long term goals हैं, किन चीजों पे आप काम करना चाह रहे हैं. So there is no hard and fast rule, but इन 2 चीजों को ज़हन में रखिए. Whether you want to go for remedial coaching or for generative coaching. Okay, generative coaching से मेरी मुराद कि you want to generate more income for yourself, you want to generate more skills for yourself, you want to become a good trainer, or you want to become a coach. So anything that you want to do to develop some skills, that will require time. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. So yahan par then Noreen Khan also has another question. Fiza, do you follow the progress or do you just identify the issues and advice on how to fix the issue and leave them on their own?
No, not at all. Actually, coaching is a relationship, two-way relationship with the client. So we, in the first session, we talk about what the actual goal is, what is it that is hindering the achievement of this goal, and then we come up with an action plan after going through all the, sort of observing all the issues that may be impending the pursuit of that goal. कोई भी अगर obstacle रास्ते में आ रहा है तो उसको किस तरह deal करना होगा. That obstacle could be an attitude problem, a mindset problem, or any other problem, let's say. Sometimes क्या होता है कि client को पता भी नहीं होता कि goal क्या है, तो वो कुछ और समझ रहे होते हैं और फिर हम थोड़ा उसमें brainstorm करते हैं and we discover the goal. And then subsequent sessions we figure out why, we're not starting our action plan, or किस तरह first step से second step पे जाएंगे, और each step पे क्या आपके issues हो सकते हैं या क्या feedback है, if you're implementing that action into that plan into action. So it takes time, and I make sure that I follow through and we are connecting on regular basis.
Excellent, Fiza. Thank you very much. So let me see if there are any other questions. So Irfan Rahman has a comment and he says, overthinking mostly because we take all responsibility on us and forget that others' participation regarding responsibility. So I guess this is not a question, this is just a comment. And so this is it. There are no more questions that I can see. So is there anything else, Fiza, that you would like to tell our audience before we call the session off? And one question I would like to ask you again. What did you get out of your, training in NLP?
Okay, I'll try to be as brief as possible because I'll keep on going on otherwise, and I think we're running short on time. It has transformed my personality. When I say that, I'm still the same persona or person that people might think I am, but the way I react to the same situation is completely different than it used to be earlier. I don't jump to conclusions. I am a lot more confident. I can take on big projects, things head on without shaking with fear. I'll tell you, fear aata hai. But now I've started taking it as a positive thing. It's leading me towards growth. It's leading me towards something big. And that fear, I feel, is more of an excitement. Okay, I might not have control on the outcome, but it could lead to something huge or something big or something not too big. I mean, there are options there, but it's okay either way, as long as I try. So my outlook has completely changed for the better, definitely. And thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah. So it was great. Thank you, Fiza. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you so much, sir.
Do contact Fiza, and I'm sure she can help you. To contact her for your coaching needs, contact her for your training needs. She can be a really good source. And I'm telling you this thing about, if she can help you design a system for yourself, for your business, that could be really powerful. इस चीज को थोड़ा सा पढ़ें. आपको एक बात बताऊं, अमेरिका में मुझे यहाँ पे तकरीबन 5 साल हो रहे हैं. मैंने एक जो चीज डिफरेंस यहाँ पे और हमारे यहाँ है, वो ये होता है कि हमारे मुल्क में आप इदारों में जहां जाते हैं वहां अफराद काम करते हैं, यहाँ पर सिस्टम काम करते हैं. आपका एक एक्सपीरियंस आपने किया होगा कि मिसाल के तौर पे आप बैंक गए हैं, आप बिल जमा कराने गए, तो जी आज कैशियर नहीं आया तो इस वजह से आपका बिल जमा नहीं होगा. जबकि यहाँ पर कैशियर का होने ना होने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. यहाँ एक सिस्टम बना हुआ है, तो वो जो सिस्टम है, कोई बंदा आए या ना आए, वो सिस्टम इस तरह से डिजाइन किए हुए हैं कि आपके काम नहीं रुकते हैं, काम मुसलसल होते रहते हैं. तो जब हमने किसी चीज का एक सिस्टम बनाया हुआ होता है, और इस कायनात में अल्लाह ताला ने एक सिस्टम बनाया हुआ है, हम नहीं थे तब भी ये कायनात चल रही थी, इस दुनिया का कारोबार चल रहा था, और हम नहीं होंगे तब भी चलता रहेगा. हमारे होने या ना होने से नहीं चलता. क्यों? बिकॉज अल्लाह ताला ने एक सिस्टम बनाया हुआ, वो सिस्टम मुसलसल काम कर रहा है. तो ये जो सिस्टम डिजाइन करने में, फिजा कैन हेल्प यू विद दैट, फॉर योर बिजनेस. I strongly recommend do talk to her. Okay. And मैं फिजा की responsibility नहीं ले रहा हूँ. Okay. It's just like I'm telling you that. However, but I'm sure, because like if Fiza can help you with this can be really useful for you. Even अगर आप एक छोटा सा बिजनेस चला रहे हैं जहाँ पे और आप आप और आपके भाई और एक दोस्त मिलकर कोई छोटा सा कारोबार कर रहे हैं, if you can if Fiza can help you design a system for you, and that system works in a sense कि जब आप नहीं हो तब भी आपका कारोबार चलता रहे, you will find your life will become really easy. So do contact Fiza and make your life easier for yourself. Okay. So Thank you, Fiza, once
Thank you
again,
so
and
much.
thank you everyone. Inshallah Taala, I'll add Fiza की जितनी भी details जो भी Fiza ने मुझे provide करी, I'll add that in the description. You will find that and do contact her and get some good coaching from Fiza. Okay, so thank you once again, Fiza. So inshallah
Thank
Taala,
you.
I'll see you again. Assalamu alaikum
Take
warahmatullahi
care.
wabarakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.